This is Business LO, a podcast by the Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce, which connects, educates, advocates, and champions our business community. We have nearly 500 members from international corporations to home-based businesses, and we serve them all. Each episode of Business LO gives insider information to the local business community and the neighbors who support them. And now, let's talk Business LO.
It's all about building better together. Conversations with the Rookie of the Year Community Award winner, the new location of grocery outlet Bargain Market. We have Liz Tafel and Tamara Davis here. We're going to get great insights. I'm Michelle Odell along with Crystal Hanna, a senior mortgage specialist at Lyons Capital Mortgage, right here in Lake Oswego. And of course, we have the much celebrated CEO of our Chamber of Commerce, Liz Hartman. And she will let us know what chamber events are happening this month with what you need to know in LO. Now, first, I want to have Tamara and Liz tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then Crystal's going to start the conversation.
I'm Liz. I am from Michigan, and I came out to the West Coast about 6 years ago, and I met Tamara. And then I got headhunted on LinkedIn, and we moved from California 3 years ago, and we just love it up here.
I'm Tamara. I'm from California. I have two boys. They're about to be 14 and 17. And when this opportunity got presented to us, I was like, how are we going to feed teenage boys one day? And here we are, owning a grocery store.
That's perfect. Okay. Well, Crystal, let's go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, well, let's start at the beginning. What made you decide a grocery store? Was it lifelong dream, happy accident, something in between, hungry boys?
I was in the retail world for 20 years. Nike in San Francisco, a company called Finish Line, ran 14 stores across 3 states. And then Liz ran restaurants for 20 years. And when she got headhunted, we thought, all right, this isn't something we saw coming, but what thrived during COVID? Grocery stores were about the only thing, right? So my stores, my malls were shutting down. Liz's restaurant shut down. Then just happened that she got headhunted on LinkedIn, and we thought it was for her to be a store manager at one and found out, oh, you can own one of these. So we went through the process. We'd stop when we found a red flag because it seemed too good to be true. Liz's mom thought it was a Ponzi scheme, and here we are. We're still with them. So yeah, and to feed the kids, right? Plus, I think the big thing for us was community. Hopefully we've been able to show that our first year and a half around us, and we just want people to be treated nicely in the workplace. Like, we just sell groceries. We wanted to create that culture within a workplace that we weren't given during our 20-year experiences in both of our industries.
What a solid foundation to set you guys up for success, both of you. It's like the perfect relationship to make it work. That's awesome. How is it owning a franchise or being part of a franchise?
It's way different. We came from high-level management backgrounds. So then having 2 female high-level managers come do one business was real interesting. I think the biggest thing we had to learn was how to work together and not work against each other. Even though we all wanted the same result, we wanted to go A, B, C, D, and this one wanted to go Z, Y, X, Q, P.
Yeah.
So we're getting there, though.
So with that, what would you say has been like one of your biggest challenges?
I would say communication between her and I. So we sit down on Mondays and kind of just check in with each other because we are with each other 24 hours. It's home and it's work. And we come into work together, we leave together. So one doesn't feel like they're putting the extra work in at the business and the other one's not. We've seen a lot of relationships within people owning businesses together that don't make it, and we choose each other first before the business. So we just do those check-ins with each other business-wise and with each other. How are we feeling for that next week?
Do you guys have, like, I've experienced this before with owning a business with my partner, hours that you talk about business? Do you have like a hard like stop line when you get home? Okay, we're not going to talk about it. Or is it kind of a free-for-all all the time?
I'm the one who doesn't want to talk about it when we get home.
I would never have guessed that, Liz.
I think it's one of those things, right? Like where things just pop up and we have to talk about it. So we're constantly clocked in. So it's one of those things where if something pops up, let's just say a random fire that happened outside last night, we are always on that clock, right? So It's just troubleshooting with each other and making sure our team knows that we're there for them. But no, if it's up to Liz, once we walk out the doors, we're done talking about it. And my mind is like a squirrel outside in these trees trying to figure out how to come in and grab that corn, right? So all over.
So the grocery industry is constantly evolving. How do you stay ahead of trends while keeping your local feel? I think you guys do an amazing job. I just want to add that.
I think everyone's really price sensitive right now. And we carry the bargain brands that everyone wants. All these name brands that we have, like cereal for $1.99, or even like the cereal you can get at Whole Foods, we have it for $3.99 and not $8.99. So when it comes to price sensitivity right now, that's what we're trying to tell people is please come here and check us out. We're not like a dented canned food company anymore. This place is fantastic and it'll save you a lot of money.
I think it's one of those things, too, where they had asked when we interviewed for this. So the process to get into it is a 20-page business plan, a 10-page marketing plan, a whole year for a cash flow. How are we going to fit in with the community? And then we go through 3 hours worth of interviews to figure out if this is going to be the right fit for the set of owners that comes into this building. And is this community going to support them if they go out and support the community? Going through all of that and then get selected for the store. During our interview, they said, what are you most worried about? And we said having the word outlet attached to our name. When we know our customer service is going to be top notch, we know our store is going to be clean, we know merchandising is going to be well, we'll bring in the product surrounding what those customers want. But having the word outlet, how do we get them in here? So our biggest thing is being in that community and just getting them to know who we are as people, to say, just come in and give us one shot. And if it's not for you, thank you for the one opportunity. If it is for you, please tell friends. Our biggest thing has been word of mouth, and it's a lot through this LO chamber. They have just totally ran rampant. I mean, we even met somebody today at the meeting with a charcuterie business, and she goes, I keep meaning to get over to you girls because I hear about what you guys have over there. So just making those connections. She didn't know we were here, but she heard about it through someone else. If you guys are knowing how Grocery Outlet works, it's all about opportunistic buying. So let's say Kellogg's has 60,000 units of Frosted Flakes. And they'll come to Grocery Outlet. It's like an overstock. What are we going to do with these? Grocery Outlet goes, we'll take them, but we only want them at this price because we're only going to sell them to our customer for $1.99 when everybody else is selling them for $5.99. So then they'll say, okay, but you're also going to take these crackers that go out in 6 weeks. So then that's where sometimes you'll see us have crazy deals, 10 for $1 on some crackers because we only have 4 weeks to sell them. But we're also giving you that bargain on that Frosted Flakes for $1.99 that they're selling across the street for $5.99.
Liz Hartman is always talking about how they really maximize their chamber presence. Tell us how you did your marketing plan with the chamber and how did it differ from what they asked you to do?
They don't have an ask on what you're going to do in the community. So anything is all us. Any of the pantries, anybody we reach out to, that's all on the owner. The owner can come in and do nothing if they didn't want to. That's up to them. They would like the presence, but they can't require it because technically we're the owner of the business. You know, we just get our product through them. We just have seen in one of the stores we trained in Pleasanton, California, our trainer was big with the chamber and we saw that firsthand. So we train in other owners' locations when you go through this. And those owners take their time to make sure we're set up for success when we get our location. So that was one thing that we got from him was how big community involvement was anywhere. So that's why before the store even opened, we were knocking on the chamber door saying, we're coming. Here's who we are. So everybody doesn't hear about us 6 months later and then we don't have time to get there and say who we are.
What have you done within the chamber that you've found success doing? What would you recommend for other businesses listening to this? How do they plug in or maximize their benefit?
They need to show up. Show up to those morning meetings on Friday morning. You show up and show your face and introduce yourself and get some announcements out there and give some shout outs and use the other businesses in the chamber as your partner, because that's how we had to find a bunch of partners because we didn't know anyone here. We just moved here. So that's how we built a bunch of partnerships.
And she specifically means the Friday morning networkings that happen every Friday, except for a couple a year for holidays and that sort of thing. And all of that information is at the chamber website, just in case anybody doesn't know what that is.
Can you talk about the recent partnership? I think you just had your second one maybe that you did with Broadway Cigars?
Yeah, Billy texted me and said, you girls want to come over here and pour some wine? So we're like, of course, Billy. So yeah, we just bring up our table. We bring some wines that we know customers have been loving in our store. I think a lot of people are pretty shocked with the brands we carry. And then when we go, yeah, this is $5 instead of 25, then that's even more of that wow factor, right? And then Billy comes and buys the groceries from us and he barbecues for everybody who shows up. So we go over there and help promote his business with getting people there, and then he's showcasing the food with the barbecue and stuff.
Liz and Tamara, do you have any advice for someone thinking about opening their own franchise?
Yeah, if you are interested, we have a recruiter that they can come in and talk to us, and then we send their information to our recruiting team. When we had got into this program years ago, it was one couple for every 1,000 people that actually got in that they interviewed. Now I think it's tripled or quadrupled that. We went through a 9-hour selection process, 9 hours worth of interviews in one day with the executive team to even be able to be considered to train for this. It's not like we can go, we want the old DSW building and we're going to build a grocery outlet here. No. So not like that.
What's up with the couple thing? Why does it seem like all couples own grocery outlet? There has to be something behind that.
I would not want to do this by myself. So I know I seem like I'm the Energizer Bunny, but what she does on the back end with all the paperwork and the finances, and she does pretty much our scheduling. Tamara, we're going to be on a podcast on this day at this time. Okay, put it in the calendar so I know what I'm doing that day. Because I also coach basketball and golf for Special Olympics for my son's high school. Along with everything else in the store, we also employ people on the spectrum. We have 3 on our payroll right now, and then we work with a couple of the local high schools as well to give them a first job opportunity, and then we can write them reference letters and stuff too. So it's near and dear to our heart.
Yeah, I remember you guys kind of sharing that story, and you kind of talked about the special needs and why that's near and dear to your heart. Can you share it kind of from that angle?
Yeah, my oldest son, Isaac, who Liz Hartman recently got to meet at the Chamber Awards. I brought the kids with us. He's on the spectrum. Found out when he was 2.5, he was diagnosed, and I was 8 weeks pregnant with my second at that point. So that was a lot to go through. But it was like, how are we going to set this kid up for success? Had in-home schooling. He started regular school at 3 years old, and now he's at an integrated high school. His last 2 report cards, 4.0s, really thriving. So yeah, everybody has a purpose for some place. It might not be in the deli area, but maybe it's up there talking with the customers at the register, you know. It's great, and the customers know it. Like, they're like, oh, there's Mikey dancing down aisle 6 again. You know, it's Thursday. We know he's going to be there. So they just go along with it, and I love it.
The community has everybody. Yep. That's exactly it. People are always talking about how great your employees are and how courteous and how friendly and how helpful they are. Do you have special training?
What Liz and I decided going into this was we weren't going to base our employees off of experience, because her and I didn't come from grocery. So we based it off, are you a good human? Can you have conversation? Do you smile all the time, right? So if you can be that person with the customer service and just talk to us in an interview, we don't sit there and read off interview questions. We just have a conversation. And if you have a willingness to learn, we can train you, but I can't train you to be a good person. So we went off of, I will try, but that's how we based it off of that. We're like, we can train grocery, but we can't train the customer service portion of it. So interviews, I do ask one question, and I love hearing the responses, is what cartoon character are you most like? And they look at us like, you two are nuts, right? But I'm like, if you say Garfield, we might have some problems, right? So you say SpongeBob, I am on it. You are hired, right? So it's just something, and that's still to this day, like when we went through all those hundreds of interviews before we opened to how we still interview today, we base off customer service and we'll train. Real quick, I will touch on the people side though. We were nervous coming into this area with not sure who was going to work at a grocery outlet store. We were able to retain 75% of our staff from day one for our first year. So 75% staff retention. And I fully believe, and I know Liz fully believes, it's the culture within the store. People we did choose, they choose us too, you know, so that's pretty cool.
Can you share with us the hours for Grocery Outlet Bridgeport and the location for those of us that don't know?
Yeah, we're open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And we're located right across from Bridgeport Village at 16920 Southwest 72nd.
Well, this is the Business LO podcast, what other business advice do you have?
Get out into your community. You can't sit there and wait for people to come through your door and complain when they don't. Get out there. We have met so many people through the LO chamber. Like even today, hearing somebody a shout out for washing windows, we're like, yes, we need that. Grab the business card, and we're like, we will be contacting you this week. Market yourself, market your business, and go find them. And Liz Hartman, you've got some great ambassadors, because let me tell you, Joyce Honda, she was on us from the beginning. And Dan Brown, we use him. And you've got some great people on that team. So keep them coming.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Liz and Tamara. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you for all of your insights.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Now it's your turn. What do we need to know? What is going on in LO?
We have a new title sponsor for Hop at the Hunt. Kelly Calabria with Kelly's Jelly is this year's title sponsor, and that is on Saturday, April 19th. And we are looking for volunteers to help us stuff those eggs. We'll be at the Chamber of Commerce on April 10th and 11th. You can sign up on Sign Up Genius, but the really fun night will be at the Hunt Club, and that is on the 16th of April from 6 to 8 p.m. So if you really want to see what's going on at the Hunt Club, watch people riding, you can come over to stuff eggs. And as we mentioned, the grocery outlet is one of our sponsors, brought the candy in. We have about 10,000 eggs that we need to fill with candy.
30 years to fill them, 10 minutes to empty them.
So come join us for Third Thursday on Thursday, April 17th. It will be from 4 to 6 p.m. Watch for the flutter flags so you know which ones are part of Third Thursday. It's been increasing every single month how many have artists there. A number of them will have specials that evening. Michael from Say What will be back down at City Home, and he has a great time down there. So we are looking to refresh the ambassadors. So if anybody is interested in being a chamber ambassador, now's a good time to check in with the chamber. We are getting ready to plan for the 2026 Leadership Lake Oswego class. A big shout out to Greet LO for featuring the chamber on their front cover for the April publication. Features Alistair Furman, the chairman of the board, and Heather Graves Ramsey, the past chairman, Eric Seifert, who is the treasurer, and then they're all chamber photos inside of a whole lot of people who've been involved with the chamber.
Well, Liz and Crystal, thank you so much for helping out with this episode. It's always a delight to talk with you. And remember, every day is a Chamber of Commerce Day here in Lake Oswego.
The Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce thanks you for listening to Business LO. We would love to have you as a member so you can help Lake Oswego continue to be one of the best places to live, work, and play. If you want to share an idea for a future episode or become a member, visit us at lakeoswegochamber.com, and please like and follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And for help with your business podcast, go to modcastproductions.com.